everybody. Welcome to the Hershee Way. And today I have a very, very, very special guest. He's a journalist. He is the radio host of the number one hip hop radio station in Tallahassee. And he's my former boss, DJ Dap. Thank you for
Hey,
joining.
what's up, Hersh? What's going on?
We got a lot to catch up on because I haven't seen you in like 2 years.
I
Three.
know a long time. Yeah, about 3 years.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, but I invited you on the show to really talk about your song Magic that you have with Kent Jones. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Having a ball with it.
I'm proud of you, Dad. First of all, what made you like want to even put out a song?
I know, right? So back in the day, before I started doing radio, I started out as a musician. Like when I started doing music, I wanted to be an artist. I never had plans to actually be a radio DJ or a DJ at all. Period. I actually started out, and my group in high school that I started out with was called Emotion. So I was a part of like a group of there's 3 guys and 1 girl. No, 4 guys. 4 guys and 1 girl is a group of 5. So we were a rap group in high school called Emotion. Yeah. So
you were spitting some. Wait, were you singing or playing instruments or rapping?
well, I was rapping and we danced and rap. We kind of did both back then. Back then rap, there was a lot of dancing involved.
Right.
So we did both. We did dance routines while we rapped.
And so what made you be like, okay, I want to get back into the whole music thing now? Like I've been doing radio for a while. I'm still going to do radio, but now I'm kind of missing music.
I think we're in the phenomenon of DJs putting out records. So I said, you know what? Since that's what I really originally wanted to do in the first place, why not put out some records?
Right.
The opportunity presented itself. I actually started reaching out to some of my friends who I've been friends with in the music industry for quite some time. Not all of them, just a few. And, majority of them was like, heck yeah, man, let's go. Let's do this. They were just as excited as me. And Kent Jones, he happens to be from Tallahassee originally. And reached out to him and he was like, yes, let's do this. So he was like, if we're going to do it, I want to be first out the gate.
Right.
I don't know who else you reaching out to, but I want to be first out the gate. I said, all right, well, the faster we can get to it, we can do that. And he kept to his word.
Okay, so now for people that don't really know what goes on in like the music industry and how to create a song, things like that, how was this particular song created? Like, did you write it and he sang the lyrics? Did he kind of write and sing the lyrics, or how did that go?
Yeah, no.
But you're not. Just to clarify for people who might not have heard the song, you're not really doing any vocals. It's really him, and like you're presenting the song. So how did that go?
Right. Yeah, it's all Kent, man. Kent writes, produces, sings. The dude actually plays all the instruments, from keyboards to guitar. He plays the drums. I don't think it's an instrument he can't play. So he did everything when it comes to the music for this particular project. So for me, this project was kind of weird because I was like I was a artist per se because I had to be in my own video, but I also had to produce my own video. And now I'm acting as the record label, the producer, and the artist, partly.
Right.
So, that's my part. But he did create the song. We had to come together to do this video in Tallahassee, which was a huge undertaking because we wanted to do a real video. So that's what we did. Well, we bought up the movie cameras from Miami, and we really did the real thing with a whole film crew. Shouts out to Florida State. They were there helping to make that happen for me.
Come on, FSU.
Along with some directors. My man AJ, the Visionary out of Miami, which is Kent's director and creative guy. We put a team together. He brought up a DP and some folks from down south. They came in from Miami and Orlando. We put together with our Tallahassee folks from FSU, and we made that thing happen. So I cannot wait till we drop this video. It's going to be a movie for real.
Hurry! I can't wait because you know you remember how I was in the station, like I'm an old soul at heart.
Old soul.
Like
Yes, she
that
is.
70s,
Hey
80s.
y'all, she looked just like her. She looked just like her daddy. She
We
looked
know.
just like her daddy. Lord have mercy. He had you. Your mama ain't had nothing to do with none of that.
That's what they all. Oh my gosh, that's what they all say. But so
What's up, pops?
did he? I'll tell him you said hi. So did Kent kind of like bring the song to you and already had it in this 70s type feel
Yeah,
and like,
you
he
know
was
what?
like,
That's the thing. That's what he's channeling, like Boosie Collins, George
yes,
Clinton.
that's what I got from that.
Right now, that is his entire movement. Is that sound, that feel? He embodies that right now. He's like really. Uh, it's almost like he's in a role, like he's part of. You know how artists that get prepared for a role in a movie.
Yeah,
Kent has completely embodied that right now. He's like he put himself back in the 70s, like he's a
yeah.
flower child, like he's a hippie. That's what he totally embodies that right now. So you'll see him doing some of the strangest things. That's if you're being judgmental. When we were together, I affectionately, kiddingly, I called us, the new outcast because here I am. I have the hood side. I have this hood type of feel.
The big
And
boy.
he's more like Andre 3000. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Freedom of expression, wear what you want to wear, and that's what he does. No boundaries, and that's just how he does everything.
Gotcha. I love it. Just the creativity of it.
Right.
So you said you were working on some songs. So does that mean we're getting an album?
Oh, definitely. Yes, I've decided to go ahead and do a full-fledged album. It'll be called From Panama City to Tallahassee is the title of it.
Okay.
And yes, I'm working on some of the people that I have, man, are people who I've worked with, people who I'm cool with, but they have connections somehow to Tallahassee or Panama City. Like, for instance, this week I'm actually recording with my friend Diddy Boo from Making the Band, Julius from Making the Band. He's one of the people on P. Diddy's Making the Band. Is from Tallahassee. And I reached out to him to do one of the songs, so we're actually recording this week.
Awesome.
My friend, thank you, my friend, Thrill the Player from the 69 Boys, who lived in Tallahassee for quite some time. He even did a quick stint on the radio here for a little while. But me and him have always been friends since the beginning of time, since he's been 69 Boys. So, of course, I had to reach out to him to do a record. Another legend in the R&B world in the state of Florida, Lorenzo. A lot of people remember Lorenzo from back in the day. He used to sing. He was signed, I believe, with Luke. I reached out to him to do an R&B record for me. And one more name that everyone will recognize is India from Ghost Town DJs. She's also a Tallahassee resident, and I have her working on a song. So that's just some of the songs that'll be coming out on this album.
Okay, cool. So it looks like you got a pretty good roster. I also want to know now, like, when should we expect this album? Is it going to be all kind of like a 70s field or different type of genres? And just give me a little bit more detail about it.
Well, I'm gonna definitely have some trap stuff in there because that's me. It'll have a little bit of flavor of me and Kent in there because Kent's helping me with the album. Of course, I also have my partner DJ Butch from County Boys, formerly Tiger Hill. He's helping with some of the local records, so I am making sure I incorporate local artists in this. So I got some local trap stuff because that's me. I'm hood, so I'm making sure that's there. So I have artists like Migo Montana, Trap Banks from around the area. They're gonna be laying down some hood tracks for me because I gotta express that part of me to go into this album. I'm a project baby. Panama City, Florida, straight from the projects. So that part will definitely be in the album. Also, speaking of Panama City, Blood Raw, that was formerly with Jeezy, Young Jeezy. He will be doing a record on the album. Speaking of Panama City and Hood, that's my dog. he will
Dap
definitely be doing the record.
busy.
Yeah, yeah. So that's some of the tracks from the record. That's a couple more I want to name because I want to tell you what's all on there. Tay Dism and Jay Lyric, who were formerly with TPain, which is also part of Tay Dism, part of my Tallahassee Hot Boys crew, which were the team that TPain kind of took with him once he blew up and left Tallahassee. He had a crew of people with him, and it was my crew of guys. Tay Dism, he's back home. He's going to do a song on the album along with Jay Lyric. So I want to make sure I shout those guys out.
When do you think the project will be done?
I'm shooting for December 1st. And wait a minute, one more thing. I know you guys just heard me say a slew of guys. I do have female artists on my album. Just Drea, she's a female rapper. She's going to be doing a record with me. And I have an R&B female, Shannon Sherrill.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she has some stuff out with Redman right now. Just kind of doing like a little feature drop on some of her stuff. And a couple other artists she's been working with. So yeah, she'll be on the album too. Both of those ladies.
Awesome. Okay. All right. You spoke a little bit about TPain, so we're gonna have to talk about what happened earlier this week. Some people who are on my Instagram story saw, but so I don't know if you all heard or saw earlier this week, but TPain's name was trending because there was a clip from the Netflix series called This Is Pop, and he was just talking about how Usher told him that he was essentially messing up music for real R&B singers due to the Autotune. So I was just like, let me go ahead and watch the whole episode. And right in the middle of the episode, I'm just like, looking down at my phone, and I just hear this familiar voice. I was like, ah, it's Dap. So first things first. So basically, for people who didn't get to see it, they used one of his old clips where Dap was interviewing TPain. TPain was like a baby. Oh my gosh, she was so like. Heads were so little, like up to his shoulder. That was in his little freshest fit.
Yes. We were both looking real young in the face.
Right. First things first, I want to know, what did you think when I sent you that text? Because Dap didn't even know y'all. I sent him the text, and he was like, oh, what? Oh, what?
Listen, me and you are journalists, and we report, you know what I'm saying? We do our little blog thing, and we report. I have the Dap report. I do my little blogging and entertainment where I report news constantly, other than the radio station. But I was just, jumping on that news like you were about the whole revelation of Usher, him, dropping Usher's name and letting it be known that Usher said, hey, man, you killed music. You know what I'm saying? And about him going into a 4-year depression. He kind of just sprung that on everyone in that interview. No one knew that was coming. So I was already trying to absorb that. And then, all of a sudden I see you post that, I'm in that interview, that same interview that I'm sitting here absorbing. It's part of This Is Pop. It happened to be a segment, a piece of, I used to have a video show called Jam TV that I had for about 2 years that aired on Tallahassee television stations. Actually 2 different television stations. We had a weekly video hip hop show. And Pain was like one of my first artists because at the time, me and my street team, we were promoting TPain. So, of course, we wanted to put our artist on first to help promote his project, which we were working on out in the streets and behind the scenes. So, yeah, that's how that came about. And they obviously, when they were putting this documentary together, they found that footage and they used a piece of it. Yeah. And I didn't even know. I had no idea.
When I texted you, what was you like? Were you shocked or were you kind of like, what?
I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Cut the check. I'm on Netflix.
Cut the check.
Who I need to reach out to? Who I need to call?
Yeah, we need to be looking through the credits and figure out who on that team. Because they ain't asked permission. No, I'm just kidding.
Cut the check. I'm on Netflix, baby. Where my check at?
Now, okay, so since you were on that, and that was something that everybody was, discussing, I have to ask you, do you agree with Usher and the Snoop Dogs and all like that?
No.
He killed, okay.
Let me tell you, I was with TPain when he was working on the album, when he was making Sprung, I was with him. when he's working on his first homegrown album. I was with him, and before anyone heard any of this music, I was one of the first ones to hear the entire album. His original album, he ended up doing a whole other album for the record label, but his first homegrown album, and I was one of the first ones to hear it, other than his brother and maybe one other guy that out of the Napperheads and his pops who he lived with. I was standing there in his room where his studio, he did his studio from his bedroom, standing there listening to these songs. So I was standing there giving him advice like I always have. Well, it's been quite some time now, but when he was first starting, I said, Pain, why don't you do half of these songs without the auto-tune? I said, the reason why I'm telling you this is because I think later on people are gonna think you can't sing if you put them all out with auto-tune. And he's like, nah, man, he said, I don't think people will think that. I wanna kind of do what I'm feeling. Like he really felt like the auto-tune thing was something he really wanted to express. Like, nah, this is what I want him to hear. He said, I don't think they'll think that. I said, okay, hey. And I guess I ended up being right. People did think that. They didn't think he could sing. I knew the whole time he could sing, because you got to remember, I'm standing there hearing him sing this stuff, and the effects come out on the other end. I'm hearing his real voice. They didn't, none of you got a chance to hear his real voice until he actually performed it on, I think, Tiny Desk. And he did a couple other clips where he, I already knew he could sing, but no one knew that because he hadn't released anything without the auto-tune on his voice. So for me, I was like, wow, dude, after all this time, he finally told everyone, how that affected him and what was going through his mind.
Yeah, because he kind of stopped, and I don't think people quite realized it till he started popping up again, but he kind of stopped putting out music for a while.
He did.
And I was like, well, where's TPain? Where did he go?
I can tell you when he started back exactly what happened. He didn't have a hit for quite some time. He actually came back home to Tallahassee, and he grabbed that same group of guys, which is a lot of my guys from Tallahassee Hot Boys.
I remember.
And he went and spent some time with them, and that's how he came up with Up Down. And Up Down, which is partly written with Jay Lyric from Tallahassee, that's the record that put him back out there. Once he released Up Down, he was back.
Yeah, that's
that's what happened with that. He did disappear for a while, but he came home to get his mojo back, and he gathered with the guys, and they hung out. They did some partying, they did some writing, they did some talking about the music and all that. And that's how he came up with Up Down. I don't want to go into too many details where they were at, but they had a good time. I remember not even being able to go because I was so busy with radio that I could not break away to go and be with them while they were working on that. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so before we go, I wanted to ask you something. I did not tell you I was going to do this before, but I wanted to ask, for old time's sake, could we do an In the Know really quickly right now?
That would be great.
Okay.
I would love that. Yes.
Yay. Okay. All right. So I know we ain't got the music or the intro or whatever, but I already got what I'm going to say, like what news I'm going to put out. And we could just do it just like how we used to do, okay?
Yes. Y'all about to see some magic. I miss Hershee Love so much. She's one of my greatest entertainment reporters, if you didn't know. On my radio station, she helped me bring that whole thing in and blow it up to what it is and what it became.
Thank you.
I'm blazing. For real.
Yo, wait. Quick story, y'all. Let's just talk about how when I was first starting and Dap asked me what I wanted my radio name to be. I knew I wanted it to be Hershee. And he was like, well, you have to have two names. Every DJ has two names, and I was not having it. Remember that, Dap?
Right.
I want two names. And then I think we just started spitting out different stuff. Hershee was this Hershee, whatever. And then we eventually came up with Hershee Love. So that was hilarious.
I've always been a person to motivate Hershee, y'all, and get her to try to do stuff, different stuff. Y'all should see the struggle with trying to get her to do social media or even do videos. She didn't want to do videos. Like I'm surprised. The fact that she's doing this right now is amazing to me, and I'm so happy with your growth. It was a struggle trying to get her to do it. Though, I'm telling y'all.
Because
There's a
that
couple of days she was mad at me when I was trying to videotape us and get us, get her on some video. But now she's doing it on her own, thank God.
because okay, first of all, it's a process. I had to go to school, still going to FSU, full-time student, y'all. Had
Yeah,
a job, and then was
right.
coming to the radio station at night. Like, oh
She
my
was.
gosh, I don't look like much
She
right
was.
now. You want to put me on camera? Like, you think
Don't
people
don't
gonna
believe
eat me
that. Don't
alive?
believe that. She was always looking great. So don't believe that.
No. People was gonna eat me alive. You know how these people are. No, no, no. I'm gonna need the whole look to be together like it is right now.
Oh my.
All right, let's do it. All right. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Hershee Love and DJ Dap on your In the Know Entertainment News. So for the first thing, we have a second Pop Smoke posthumous album is in the works, and the release date for the project is July 16th. So there's no new news of the track list or the who else may be on the album, but it has been confirmed that there's going to be 17 new songs. What you think about that, Dap?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, okay, now why are they and they doing it really fast? I'm like, damn, they released some more records since the man been dead than when he was alive. Y'all need to learn how to give people flowers when they're alive. What you releasing all this stuff now that he gone. He dead and gone. We already getting the second album already. The first one is still, it's still songs in the top 20 right now. And they
Right.
releasing another album like quick, fast, and hairy. But obviously it's his estate. They don't want the hype to die down, and
Right.
they are quickly getting out more records. So I think it's a good thing, as long as it's benefiting his children. That's what really matters.
Any guesses on who may be on the album?
I don't know. They have an opportunity to put a lot of different artists on there. Those artists definitely want to be on there now. If
Yes.
they didn't before. So you can only imagine who all is on there. I would expect it to be some heavyweights.
From my perspective, I'm really, really excited about it. I think the last album was amazing. I really loved it. I loved the Woo with 50 Cent.
Yeah.
I loved For the Night. I loved a lot of the songs on there. Um, I was actually in New York interning when he was like, coming up and stuff. And I remember going to a party. It was like an outside party, and they were playing City Girls. They were playing all these songs that I knew from down south. And it was like none of the people were singing those songs, none of them. But soon as Welcome to the Party came on, everybody was just so hyped. I'm like, what is this? Who is this? Like the City Girls, but you dancing to this, and I was like, eventually I kept hearing it every time I went out, and someone just told me, look into it. Eventually learned the lyrics, and I was just jamming out to it too when I started to go out. And I'll never forget that months had went by when I was listening to that song and stuff like that. And I ended up wanting to know a little bit about him. And, since I'm in journalism, I went and looked at an interview with him on Angie Martinez just to, get to know him a little bit more, see what he's about. And literally the next day, the news came that he passed away. So it was like, I just watched this man last night. What are you talking about?
He's finally getting into it, and then he's gone.
Right. And the thing is that you could just tell with not even just with this with the first song like Welcome to the Party, but just even the album, like he has so much potential. Like they put him in a movie and everything. He could act, like sound just like a little mini 50 Cent, and he just
Basically.
It was like, what?
Yeah, I always to me he sounded like 50 and Pop. That's what I thought about when I.
And I honestly just feel like if he was still alive, like he would have soared. I really do think that he would have been one of like the top people like really doing it right now. Right. All right. So up next, fans think they may have found out the reason why Nick Cannon is having all these babies. So an old interview resurfaced of Nick Cannon being on the Howard Stern show, and he's talking about making peace with the fact that he may die early because he has a lupus kidney-related disease. And so Howard Stern, he's like, okay, but Nick, what if the doctors are wrong and you're like a 90-year-old man running around with 100 kids? And Nick was like, that'll be great. That'll be fantastic. That'll be amazing. So, but I did read some people's comments, and some people were saying, but what about all the broken homes? Like, you want your children to be raised, like, with their dad possibly not there, or all in different homes. And one person was like, well, it's cool that you're having all the kids, but why couldn't you do it with one woman? So what do you think about that, Dap?
Yeah, right now he is completely thinking of himself. He wants to spread his seeds far and wide. Obviously, he's not worried about any of that other stuff at this point. He has a blood disease, a problem with his blood, with these blood clots. He thinks he can go at any time. Just listen to that interview. Now, to be 100% transparent, we do have Nick Cannon on Sundays on my station. We just added him recently, so he is we're an affiliate of his. But he's really doing his thing. He has a talk show coming out that we haven't even really announced yet. I guess y'all kind of know now. He has a daytime talk show that's set to be released soon. It'll be starting in another couple of months, and starting in the fall. And so now he has radio. He has the new daytime talk show, and then he has the Mask and Wildin' Out. He has all four of those things going on at one time. So the boy has bread. Money is not a problem. It's not an issue. I get what people are saying. I feel where they're coming from. But right now, if you look at it, you don't even know if you're going to be here for the next 3 months. Man, you ain't worried about that. Right now, you're going to make as much love as you can. And if you have children from it, so be it. Because he got the money to pay for it.
I think I'm a little bit in the middle where it's like, it's good that he has the finances to take care of the kids, but it's also like, how many times do we have to hear people, especially Black people, grow up and talk about how they were so heavily affected because their dad wasn't around or their dad, wasn't with them. And it's like, so I do think that is something he should consider. Again, like, why can't you just have them with one woman all in the same household?
In his mind, he think he about to die in 3 months. So he ain't worried about that at all. You know what I'm saying? He trying to spread them seeds far and wide. Let me tell you this, ain't like Black folks be worried about marriage anyway. You see more baby reveals than you do weddings. Every time you turn around, somebody having a baby reveal. They get dressed up. They do the outfits, the food. They want to pop the pink and blue smoke and the little pieces of paper everywhere. Come on, Black folks ain't worried about no darn weddings. So what they worry about? With Nick Cannon, we can have more baby reveals.
Well, I think we should definitely try to turn that around. Like, make sure you're present and know your kid, because they may be affected when they grow up and may feel like have a feeling hurt. You don't know. Some of them don't care and they grow up fine, but some people definitely grow up and be like, I wish I knew my dad more. So, and that'd be a thing that kind of affect them forever. So I do think that's something he could consider, but that's just my opinion. All right, well, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me, Dad. Thank you for doing the In the Know with me. It was so fun. I miss doing it.
Felt like old times. I love
it. I know I miss doing it with you, and thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I had a really good time.